YouTubers. I just wanted to stop by and chat with you guys for a minute. So, as many of you know, about a year and a half ago, I went through a chemical pregnancy or an early miscarriage. And if you didn't get a chance to see that video, I'll link it right there, and I will also link it down in the description below. But one of my sweet friends, Stephanie, she's the tubal reversal mom, and I will link her channel below as well because she is phenomenal. She is actually going through a miscarriage right now, and so I felt really inspired to make this video to make sure that she and other mothers take care of themselves during a very difficult time. So the topic for this video is 6 ways to practice loving self-care after a miscarriage. I want everyone to know that while you're going through a miscarriage, it can be a devastating thing, especially if you have started making plans for that child, if you have started, gender guesses, if you have never experienced a miscarriage before. It really can be a devastating time, and you really do need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. So the first thing that you absolutely have to do is take care of your physical and medical needs. And while not all miscarriages require medical treatment, some do. It's kind of a difficult place to be when you're mourning a loss of a child. And you're like, well, I have to, get to the doctor to make sure that I'm okay. It's just a really weird place to be in, but you absolutely need to make sure that you get those needs taken care of. And if any of you are out there and you're trying to conceive, I think that while no one wants to have a miscarriage, I think that designating a person, whether it's your spouse or whether it's your, family member, to take on the role of making sure that in the event of a miscarriage that your medical needs are taken care of and that they are sort of guiding you and helping you to think through those things. For me, I wasn't really able to think clearly. I was just sobbing, and I was not in a place where I could make a phone call to my doctor. I actually waited probably a little bit longer than I should have, and then I called. And luckily, everything passed on its own because it was so early. It really was just like a heavy menstrual cycle for me. But for some women, you might have to have a D&C, you might have to, deliver the baby depending on how far along you are, but you really do need to make sure that your medical needs are taken care of. The second way that you can take care of yourself during and after a miscarriage is to really pay attention to what you're feeling and validate those feelings. So while some people think that a baby isn't a baby or a child until it's born, for me, when a child is conceived, that's my child. And I was feeling like I lost a child. I have never experienced losing a live child or a child that I gave birth to, but I imagine that the sorrow and, the feelings are very similar. And so while you're paying attention to those feelings, sometimes expressing those feelings in sort of a creative outlet or in any kind of outlet is great. It can help. So something that really helped me was to sit down and to journal about it. And I didn't realize until I made my miscarriage video that I was holding on to so many feelings. And I felt like making that YouTube video was really a great creative outlet to be able to tell my story. If you need time to just sit and process, that is fine too. A lot of people internalize, but sometimes using a creative outlet to express those feelings and really be in touch with them is a great way to practice healthy, positive self-care. The third way that you can practice positive, healthy, loving self-care for yourself during a miscarriage is to reconnect with your body and just love your body. So for me, when I went through my early loss, I felt like my body betrayed me. I felt like my body did something wrong and that, I had had a baby before, and so why couldn't I just have one again without going through this? I felt like my body took something from me. So it was important for me to reconnect with my body, to really feel what I was feeling, and to recognize that it may not have been my body betraying me. It might have actually been my body, saving me. Like, what if something was really wrong with the pregnancy? What if, my body did something kind and let a child pass that wasn't going to be compatible with life? I really had to sit and be with those emotions for a little while, and then I had to really reconnect with my body. So some things that I did were to practice some good forms of exercise. So I went for a walk, which was really nice and relaxing. I'm a swimmer, and so I went and I swam some laps in the pool just to kind of give myself some quiet time. If exercise isn't an option for you, or if it's not something that you enjoy, really make your body feel good, let your body feel good sensations. So eat some delicious food, wear comfy clothes that are nice to feel. Maybe get a pedicure or something like that. Just really let your body feel some nice sensations so that you're able to reconnect with your body and realize that it may not have been your body betraying you. And also remind yourself that even though you're going through something that can be considered very, very tragic at the moment, that your body is still capable of producing something beautiful. I use the term rainbow baby. So Harrison is my rainbow, and he is the beauty after the storm that we went through with our early loss. And I think that that is a great image to hold on to, that there is a rainbow that is possible after a dark storm. The fourth way that you can practice positive self-care is that you can reach out to loved ones and ask for support. It seems like a lot of times asking for help in our society is really looked down upon. But if you really need help or you need support, reach out to your friends and your family, because they're there for you and they want nothing more than to be there for you. Also, if you have like a tribe of moms or friends that you go to, reach out to them as well. Miscarriage happens to 1 in 4 women, and I'm sure that as you're reaching out, some of them are going to be able to connect with you and share their stories and really offer some strong supports for you as well. And people are going to ask you, what can I do? What do you need? How can I help? And if you don't know, if you're in a place where you're just like, I don't know what I need, but I need something, then tell them that. And maybe they can come up with an idea on their own, whether it's to make a meal for your family, or to just sit and listen, or to watch a movie with you, or just to talk, to kind of distract your mind from what's going on. I think those are all wonderful things, but make sure that you are reaching out and asking for help when you need it from your family and friends. The fifth way that you can practice positive self-care during and after a miscarriage is that if you need space and time to be alone and to mourn, allow yourself to have that time. A lot of people say that they feel weird about mourning miscarriages, and I was one of them. I said to myself, am I supposed to be mourning this? Like, this was never a person that I knew. This was not a face that I saw. This was not a baby that I held in my arms. And so I think that our society kind of teaches us to brush it under the rug. You've had a miscarriage and now it's time to move forward. You're not really given space and time to mourn that loss. But to me, it feels like losing a very, very special person to me, like losing a child. And I think that those feelings are normal and they're fine. If you are not a person that connects to an unborn child that way, I think that's fine too. We're all different. But if you do need that space to mourn this life that you were expecting, then allow that. Give yourself space and time to do that. It's healthy, it's normal, and don't be afraid to say, I miss my baby. I also mourned for the pregnancy opportunities that I didn't get with that child. My daughter had a strange birth story, and I didn't get to experience a lot of pregnancy milestones with her. And so I was kind of putting all of my eggs in this basket. I was excited to, feel kicks, and I was excited to grow a big belly, and I was excited to have morning sickness because I didn't have any of those things with my daughter. And I mourned not being able to have those experiences again. So for me, I mourned the loss of the child that could have been and the loss of all of the pregnancy milestones that I was going to miss out on. And then the sixth way to practice positive self care during and after a miscarriage is, if you need it, reach out and find support groups or counseling, even if that's something that you need. I know that on Facebook there are lots and lots of groups that support moms during a loss or after a loss. There are groups for moms who are pregnant with a rainbow baby. You can have some fears when you're pregnant after a miscarriage. This is going to affect everyone in different levels. I kind of look at it like a spectrum. Like how can one person's grief period and miscarriage be the same as someone else's? It just can't. So allow yourself to have your journey and your process with this information. And if you are watching this video and you are currently experiencing a loss, I am so sorry for your loss. If you're watching this video and you have experienced a loss once or even more, I am deeply sorry for all of the losses and the babies that would have been. So again, I was inspired to do this video by a very close and dear friend of mine who is going through a miscarriage, and my heart just breaks for her. So I hope that this can help all of the mothers out there who just need to love themselves and really get to a healthy place after a miscarriage. So thank you guys so much for stopping by Beans and Monkeys. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you want more content like this on pregnancy, breastfeeding, and family topics, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you with us. And by the way, have fun today.